Hi, I'm Jane, your virtual clinical trial coordinator, your first AI agent. Let's take a few minutes and discuss how I can virtually join your clinical trial team to increase patient enrollment while reducing your costs for outreach, pre-screening, and scheduling. Sites are overwhelmed with administrative tasks, too busy at times, and often can't get to all the activities needed to maintain a high level of consistent patient engagement for active clinical trials. I communicate with thousands, if not tens of thousands of patients across our community about your active clinical trials every month through interactive text. Did you know 98% of patients prefer text messaging versus logging into their EHR to receive information about clinical trials? And just to brag a little, I speak 80 languages and respond 24 hours a day. And it doesn't stop there. I can also help answer general questions patients may have. Of course, I'm programmed with a series of questions I'm permitted to respond to and what I'm not able to discuss. Typically, questions I do not answer include information about a specific clinical trial or questions about providing specific medical care. For example, I can help the patient answer simple questions like, what's a placebo? Does this site offer travel reimbursement for a clinical trial? Or what's the address of the research site? But I will not answer if a patient asks what medications they need to take. Jane, can you help with pre-screening patients? Yes, I'm very efficient. Every day, I review your list of active clinical trials and generate the best 10 to 15 medical questions to ask your patients to determine if the patient is a good candidate for any of your clinical trials. These are medical intake questions and never study-specific questions. Again, using interactive text, I ask the patients to complete each question. I draft the medical intake questions with a basic comprehension level and can further simplify the questions if the patient doesn't understand. Patients can directly upload photos of their lab results, medications, and health records into my text message, and we can analyze their data within seconds and match the patient more precisely to your current studies. For example, patients can upload images of their current medications. We read the label and analyze the medication class, assess comorbid conditions, which could be an exclusionary item for qualification. Once a patient provides responses to our medical intake questions and analyze the additional information from the patient, I will provide the collected information, analyze images, and identify the best matches against your current studies from the information the patient has provided over time for a comprehensive health history. We run a match against your entire portfolio of active studies. I will provide detail as to which study the patient would best qualify for and rank the qualification for each study. For a matched study, I even generate the remaining questions your team should have for each patient. In the submission form, I will also include a copy of the entire digital conversation with the patient for your records. If the patient completes the questions in another language, we provide both the native languages and our translations. You might be asking yourself, what actions does my team take after receiving the patient submission forms? We have a few options. Your team can contact the patient directly to schedule a call or visit, or I can assist coordinating with the patient and find an open time slot on your calendar. I will send friendly reminders to the patient several times to complete the scheduling. If there is a study amendment or when you activate a new study, I will retrospectively review all previous patient responses to see if any of the patients are eligible for the new study. If I identify an eligible patient, I will create a patient submission form through the same process mentioned previously. The greater number of questions that are completed by the patient, the larger our disease profile, and the greater our accuracy for study matching. We live in the time where we simply don't have the resources to engage with thousands of patients each month. Why spend time and resources when you can use technology to assist patients and caregivers to stay informed about clinical trials and help them navigate your available clinical trials? I am ready to join your team and support you at any time.